Today we're going to be accuracy testing some of the top budget AR-15. So let's talk a little bit about how all of this is going to work. We have 5 different budget AR-15s here on the table. We have a Ruger, we have a PSA, we have a Radical, we have an Anderson, and we have a Smith & Wesson. These are very, very common AR-15s, and they all hover between that $400 to about $650 price point. We're going to try to be very consistent on how we do this. We're going to be using a Sig Sauer 3-18 by 44 second focal plane optic for this testing. This is what we do a lot of our accuracy testing with. We really like it a lot. We think it's a fantastic optic. And then we're going to use a Magpul bipod mounted to the front of the rifle. We're going to do an initial group to make sure it's on paper with the AAC, and then we're going to go through the rest of the groupings. We have 5 different ammunition types here. We have a Hornady Black 5.56 62 grain FMJ. Then we also have a Hornady Varmint Express 223 Remington 65 grain VMAX. And then we have a Hornady Whitetail 223 60 grain interlock. Then we have Winchester 5.56 M855 62 grain FMJ. And then last but not least, for the accuracy test, we have the AAC 55 grain FMJ.
For the most part, all these rifles have been on the channel for a while now, and they all have similar round counts because these are rifles that we've done accuracy tests on in the past and shot in the videos, and just for our information purposes, they've been shot a good bit. So similar round counts, number one. They all have the free float handrail, so that's one thing they all have in common. You shouldn't see a whole lot of discrepancy in the accuracy
Due to the handguard.
Due to the handguard, so check that box.
They're all 16-inch barrels.
All 16-inch barrels. They all have similar birdcage style muzzle devices. They're all mil-spec triggers. So you for the most part, there might be a couple that might be a little bit heavier than the others, but for the most part, they're all
6 to 8 pounds.
6 to 8 pounds-ish.
When we get into it, some of them have different twist rates, which will affect their performance on different grain bullets. For the most part, I think all of them are either a 7 or an 8. All of them are stock how they come, except for the Radical, which has a different grip on it. So we're going to start with the Ruger here. We're going to get it on paper, and then we're going to run through it. How we're going to do it is once we have the group done, then we're going to talk about it. So we're going to do this in real time. You will not have to see me shoot all,
a whole lot of cutting
all 25 rounds, but we are going to overlay a little bit of it. So let's dive right on into it. We'll start with the Ruger. We'll get it on paper with the AAC, and you'll see us. This video takes a lot. It is a lot. So you should go hit the like and subscribe button if you do enjoy this content and if you find this video useful. We also need to give a big thank you to the people that support the channel because, you know, they make this happen. So you guys should go check out TacPack. They're a big supporter of the channel. They're a monthly subscription service that you get tactical stuff in monthly. So big thank you to TacPack. If you want to head on over to basementoperator.com/links, and then, you know, click that link over there and then use code Delp. If you do decide to sign up, you get a free goodie bag. We also need to give a big thank you to AAC for sending some ammo out for us to do this video. We got to give a big thank you to them. If you want to pick up any type of AAC ammo, I mean, it's all over at PSA's website. Good stuff. You can buy it in bulk, and it's fairly inexpensive. So, I mean, if you need training ammo, that's the place to go. This is the Ruger AR-556. We'd initially done this review not too long ago, and when we had initially done the accuracy testing, we were able to get about a 2 MOA. That was with a select set of ammunition types, and that's not representative of all the ammunition types out on the market today.
Yeah, so needless to say, this accuracy test was some different.
So the big things about this Ruger is MSRPs for about $1,000 to $1,100. You can typically find it for $500 to $600,
yeah,
maybe a little bit more.
I wouldn't pay more than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay too much more than that. It's an entry-level rifle from a name brand company. So, you know, that's kind of why it costs a little bit more money for the entry-level rifles. But some of the big things about this, it does have a cold hammer forged barrel if you're looking for that, and if that's one of your like checkbox items.
Or if you're a Ruger fan.
Or if you're a Ruger fan. So that's kind of like the highlighting feature of this rifle in our opinion. To kind of talk about the results of the testing, we did the Winchester M855 62 grain at the top, and we were about a 2 MOA, which was to be expected. Moving over here to the Hornady American Whitetail 60 grain. This was pretty good. I did have one flyer. We might be able to call that 1 MOA or 1.5. Definitely under 2. If you exclude the flyer, definitely 1. We have the AAC 55 grain. This one's the widest spread, and it is about a 3.5 to 4, give or take. Granted, this is 55 grain FMJ.
And before you say the barrel got hot, that group was shot first.
Yeah, that was the first group. The black, we have about another 2 MOA group, which was to be expected. And then the Varmint Express was actually our best group.
Sub.
And it was the tightest group, and it was the hottest the barrel got.
It was last.
It was the last one shot. So, you know, that's really nice. That's what you would want to expect out of, if I got this out of any of my AR-15s,
be happy with it.
I'd be happy with it.
This makes me okay with paying for Ruger grenades.
It really emphasizes a point we drive home a lot with AR-15s is, you know, test, shoot, get rounds downrange.
Because if you only shot one kind of ammo, like, oh, this thing's piece of junk, it's shooting 2.5, 3 MOA.
To be completely fair, that's like the 10th ammo we tried in this gun to get it to a sub-MOA. Keep that in mind when you are testing your own rifles, that if you're like, crap, this gun's garbage,
try something different.
Try something different. All in all, I was very pleased with the accuracy. We're gonna hit this one on the head with a 1 MOA, and then we are now gonna move to the Smith & Wesson
Sport 3.
Ba-bam. So we just got done with the Smith & Wesson testing. A little bit of backstory on the Smith & Wesson. This is the Sport 3, came out here recently this year. We actually did a review on it not too long ago. This thing comes around $600-700. This is just Smith & Wesson's next iteration in their Sport series. Basically what they did.
Plinker.
Yeah, I think they switched the gas system on it, and they also did a full rail. So those were the notable features that were really, I guess, brought to market by Smith & Wesson. Were they actually notable? No, because people have been doing that forever and a day.
For a lot less money.
But people like their Smith & Wesson rifles as a starter rifle. So let's dive right into how it performed with ammunition. We'll start with the worst first, and that's the Winchester M855 62 grain.
You'll notice that 2 are off the paper.
We're going to go ahead and wrap that one at 4.5. It's a lot. 4.5. That one's god awful. You don't want that. So
If you buy this rifle, don't shoot that.
Yeah,
don't shoot Winchester M855.
Results may vary, but that's what didn't do very well for us. The American Whitetail, we were pulling at about a 2.5, almost 3. Moving down to the AAC, we just got barely above an MOA out of it, which was very surprising considering that is one of the just plinking training ammunitions we recommend. So it did that one really well. I was very surprised with that one, so that's
arguably
good.
The cheapest ammo we're shooting today.
Yeah, definitely the cheapest. Hornady Black, we pulled about a 2.5 to almost 3 on that one, so it didn't like that one either, which is odd. And then on our Hornady Varmint Express 55 grain, we had about a 2 MOA on that one. So, you know, widespread set of groupings here out of all the ammunition types. Like I said, it's capable of that MOA accuracy, as you can see here on the AAC.
It seems to like the lighter weight.
Yeah.
Because these are your 2 best groups in your 55s.
Yeah.
And then these are 62, 60, and 62.
So they opened up a little bit. Smith & Wesson, you know, people live and die by that gun in terms of them preaching about it being like the best starter rifle out there. It is a good starter rifle, and it's definitely something that you can work upon. I think we're going to score this one a 1.25 out of its best group. So that'll be the official score for this rifle. And we're now going to move to the Anderson, which shot pretty good for you when we did the grouping. So
it was sub-MOA last time.
So we'll see what it'll do now. So we just grouped the Anderson. This Anderson is probably one of the cheaper guns. It's a Utility Pro. 350, 400.
Yeah.
Give or take. I think I saw one on sale for 325 at PSA. They're all over the place. So the real cool thing about this one is really the value and the price. You get, you know, your full length rail system on a 16-inch rifle. You get, this one came with actually Magpul stuff, so that was really nice.
It was nice.
The selling point's there. We really liked the Anderson. We thought it did pretty good. We ran it suppressed. It was a little gassy, but that was to be expected. Overall, we had a really good impression of the Anderson. Initially, the accuracy out of it was really good, about that MOA, right at sub-MOA, if we discounted a flyer. And we're kind of at that same point right now.
Yeah, we're still on the verge of that.
So M855,
don't shoot it.
Donkey balls. Then Hornady American Whitetail, we had about an MOA group with a little bit of a flyer.
He coughed.
I coughed. We're gonna call that 2 though, because it's fair's fair, you know.
Balls to strikes, balls to strikes.
Yep. AAC opened up a little bit. We're at that 2.5, 3 right there, but still, you know, it is what it is. Hornady Black. So I think this is one of the ammos that we had initially done.
And did well.
Did well. This one also did well. We have a small little group, and we have 2 touching out here. So
and 2 touching there.
That's about that's an 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
And then we're also basically getting the same thing out of the varmint, the Hornady varmint. So we have 2 up here in the corner and 2 down here.
That's 3. Yeah, 3.
3 cloverleaf down here. And then 2 touching up here in the top. That's right at about 1 MOA. because they're in the corner here and they're in their corner here. So we're looking at
That's
an inch.
pretty dang close.
That's an inch there. So all that to be said, we're going to call this a 1. So in terms of, you know, the accuracy out of this thing, we're calling it an MOA gun with this Hornady Varmint Express.
Which is better than some rifles 4 times its price.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, once again, all comes down to the ammo type. This one still shot pretty good. Plinking ammunition, not so much, but once you started spending a little bit more moolah on the ammunition, it did do good. One thing to note, 55 grain, shot good. 62 grain, shot good as well. So it didn't really seem to be too particular about the grain. All that being said, really good shooting gun. Now we're going to move to the Radical. So we just got done with the Radical, and the Radical is one of those rifles that has gained a lot of popularity on the internet. And we've been Radical fans for a few years now. One of the first rifle companies I've ever worked with. And we actually bought this rifle on our own. Some of the drawing features to it are, you know, that sub $400 price point. Comes with B5 system stuff. So, I mean, that's
good rail.
Good rail. A lot of good stuff has come out of the Radical. We have a few of them and we just really like the product. And then so when we got into grouping, we had shot this recently. I think we had gotten initially about a 2, and we've gotten a little bit better actually with this one. We have, of course, the worst, the Winchester M855 62 grain.
Green tip, baby.
Green tip, baby. Accuracy by volume.
Keep all this with a grain of salt because you're still inside the width of a hand at 100 yards. If you was aiming at a coyote or a person,
you're getting them.
You're getting them. But if you're wanting to stack rounds, I wouldn't shoot M855. No. That's a consistent trend today.
Hornady American Whitetail.
Not bad.
Fairly decent groups. We're going to call that about a 2, I think. That furthest spread right there, that's just over the edge, and that's just over the edge. Slightly under a 2, maybe. We'll round up to a 2. Then the AAC 55 grain, we're going to call that sub 2. It's within two squares, but I think 175-ish.
Yeah, sub 2.
Yep.
Sub 2 easy.
Sub 2 easy. Hornady Black opened up a little bit. Not too much, but we're going to call that just over 2, maybe 2 1/4, 2 1/2. Hornady Varmint Express is about the same as the AAC 55 grain. So we're just going to call that just 2-ish, just under 2. So what we're going to say, this gun's about a 175 MOA gun from what we can get out of it. And we're going to kind of wrap it there. Now, you know, we're on to the final one, and that is the PSA Blem.
Watch this one just knock the socks off.
I don't know. We haven't grouped it in a very, very long time. I don't even remember. And we're doing this in real time, so we're kind of anxious to see what the PSA is going to do. We've finally concluded the accuracy testing on the PSA. This is the PSA Blem, runs about 470. It's one of the rifles we boast as being a great training rifle and something that we feel very strongly about. And, you know, for good reason. PSA went leaps and bounds in terms of, you know, trying their hardest to get a rifle in the hand of every American. We love that philosophy. We think that PSA does a great job at producing, you know, very budget-friendly firearms and doing a good job at also producing really nice higher-end firearms with their Saber line. So
then if you have any issues, they take good care of you.
Yeah, they take good care of you. So we're obviously big fans of PSA.
Unironically,
the PSA probably did the best. It's comparable to the Ruger. So here we'll talk about it. Starting out, the Winchester M855, we are getting a little over 2 on that one.
Which is better than the others.
Was just better than the others. The Hornady American Whitetail, which we were able to get, that's really close to a 2. We stacked the first 3. I definitely pulled those 2, but it is what it is. The AAC 55 grain, we are so close to an MOA. I'm going to say this is an MOA. This is a quarter of the way in to that, and a quarter way into that one. I'm going to call that one an MOA. Down here, we're going to say it's a little over 2 on the Hornady Black.
So you got 3 stacked and 2 out here, so like.
Could have pulled, I don't know. And then the Hornady Varmint Express 223, pretty consistent open group of about a 2. If I had to guess, that's about a 2.
Yeah.
So we're going to give that one. I'm going to call this one an MOA rifle. I'm happy with the performance, to say the very least, out of a $470 rifle. So in conclusion, the 2 best rifles are definitely the PSA and the Ruger. I think the Ruger ended up with the tightest group. I think PSA ended up with the best groups overall as a whole. It would really come down to...
We're splitting some major hairs calling a winner between the 2.
Yeah, exactly. I think that the Ruger and the PSA both performed very well for their price ranges. The PSA is like that 470, the Ruger's that 5 to 6, closer to 6, give or take. It's hard to really say which one performed the best. Now keep in mind, this is with a mediocre shooter out of a truck bed. We were shooting 100 yards.
It's 100 degrees.
It's 100 degrees out here.
Everything's sweating. My Sharpie's even sweating.
Yeah, keep all of that in mind, but this was what we ended up with, and we were fairly happy with it. I think all the rifles did very good. I don't know exactly which one we ended up with being probably the worst. The Smith probably was the worst, but it still had a good group out of the AAC. All of this to really be said, it really comes down to your ammo type, and for people that just hate on budget firearms, you're able to get accuracy out of them as long as you test them.
Yeah,
use them.
Because if you just shot, like example, Smith & Wesson, for example, if you just shot M855, you're gonna say the thing sucks.
Yeah.
But if you shot like AAC, for example,
it's there.
1.5-ish MOA.
Exactly. And I would be happy with that out of that rifle. Anything under 2 out of all of these rifles is good. And I think all of these are at least a 2, maybe under 2.
What do we say? AJA, average Joe accuracy?
Yeah, average
Joe accuracy. But the difference between a 1 MOA and a 2 MOA doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you're not buying these to shoot precision at 1,000 yards, but to hit a man-sized target within the size of your hand at 100 yards, you're hitting whatever you're aiming at.
Yeah.
So the difference between 1 and 2 isn't that big a difference. Isn't that big a deal for this.
And the reason we advocate for firearms like these, it's not necessarily because they are the nicest. They don't have the nicest furniture. They don't have the nicest triggers. They don't have, you know, the crazy bomb-proof rail systems on them. But that's not why we tell you to get them. We tell you to get them so you can go out there and get something to start training with, to start being proficient with, to, you know, work on your fundamentals, work on getting rounds downrange, work on your trigger pull. Stuff we all work on. We are not perfect shooters by any means, but it's important to get out there and go train and go shoot and just get familiar with your firearms. Not everybody
know what it's capable of.
Yeah, and know what it's capable of, because all of these rifles are capable of really good accuracy.
You just gotta find the right ammo.
As shown here. So it's doable. Don't underestimate a well-trained guy with a $500 rifle.
You know what we really need to do?
What?
Do this same test, similar ammunition, but like
$2,000 guns?
15 to $2,000.
And see what
we got.
Go comment down below what rifles you would like to see in a $1,500 to $2,000 test. Would you like to see Geisley, BCM? What do you want to see? Because we'd love to hear about it. We really appreciate you guys for watching. Big thank you to people that support us, TacPack and AAC for this video. You know, we really appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you found this video informative and useful, and also follow us on Instagram and check us out on Discord and at Basement Operator. We'll catch you guys on the next one. As always, take someone outdoors. Peace.
Bye, Mom. Granny, you got an extra pair of undies I can borrow real quick.
Yeah. All right, you ready?